Beginning, the nurse who didn't belong. The medical wing of Aurelia Academy, orbiting above the pale blue world of Virene IV, gleamed with sterile light. Rows of sleek healing pods hummed softly, filled with alien students from across the galaxy, the best, brightest, and often the most arrogant of their kind. To them, humans were an afterthought. A primitive species from a backwater world still healing from its first interstellar war. And so, when Nurse Elian Ward arrived, carrying a simple duffel bag instead of a holo-suitcase, wearing an old Terran med jacket with faded insignia, laughter followed him down the corridor. "That's the new nurse," one reptilian student whispered, her scales glittering green under the light. "He doesn't even have a neural patch," another snickered. "How's he supposed to interface with the med core?" Elian ignored them. His dark eyes were calm, his gait steady. He moved like a man who had walked through worse places than school hallways. Principal Verthar, a six-eyed Avorian, extended a trembling hand of welcome. "You're replacing our former medic who, retired abruptly after the incident with the plasma infection. I trust you're familiar with trispecies anatomy?" Elian only nodded. "I'll manage." He didn't speak much after that. He simply began working. He cleaned wounds by hand. He refused to rely on auto-nanits. He wrapped bandages with precision that felt old-fashioned. But he also stabilized a Virenian's failing hearts within minutes, recalibrated a defective bioregon tank by ear, and somehow, when a student screamed in agony from neural backlash, Elian placed a single hand on her chest and she calmed as if he'd drawn the pain out of her body himself. By the end of the first week, the laughter had turned into whispers. "He's strange. How does he know so much about combat medicine? Why does he always wear long sleeves?" No one dared ask him directly. Until one did. Middle, the field lesson. Her name was Lyra Kynath, daughter of a galactic senator and top of her class in xenobiology. She was bold, bright, and born to challenge rules. During a first aid demonstration, she watched Elian trace a burn scar on a holodummy with surgical precision. "You talk like you've treated real soldiers," she said, chin tilted up. "But humans haven't fought in centuries. You've never seen battle." The class laughed, a chorus of chirps, hisses, and clicks. Elian looked at her, not angry, not offended, but tired. "You think peace is the absence of battle," he said softly. "Then you've never treated a wounded survivor." Lyra's smirk faded. Before she could retort, alarms blared through the academy, an explosion echoed from the eastern wing. "Security breach detected," the intercom shrieked. "Unknown lifeforms on Deck C." Panic spread like wildfire. Students screamed, scurrying under tables, activating shields, calling parents through neural links. Elian's voice cut through the chaos like a blade. "Everyone, stay down." He was already moving, faster than their eyes could follow. He grabbed a medkit, a compact field injector, and vanished into the smoke-filled corridor. The intrusion. Deck C was a mess of ruptured panels and hissing steam. 3 Skarn marauders, insectoid mercenaries with plasma rifles, tore through lockers looking for easy targets. The Academy's security drones had already been fried. Elian moved like a shadow. He didn't scream. He didn't hesitate. He grabbed a metal rod from the floor, twisted it once, and it extended into a staff with a hidden energy pulse core. A weapon. Not standard medical issue. When one Skarn turned, Elian was already behind him. A flash of movement, a blow to the thorax, a hiss of ruptured plasma. The alien fell, convulsing. Another fired. Elian dodged sideways, rolling behind cover. His hands blurred as he slammed a portable shield generator to the floor. The plasma burst ricocheted off, lighting the corridor blue. "You," hissed the last Skarn, "you're no nurse." Elian's answer was silent. Just one step forward and a strike so fast it left a glowing afterimage. The marauder dropped, its weapon clattering uselessly. When the security bots finally arrived, they found all three intruders neutralized, alive, restrained, but incapacitated. And Alien? He was calmly sitting against the wall, patching up a burn on his arm, using his teeth to tighten a bandage. After the incident, the next day, the entire academy was buzzing. Did you see what he did? He took down 3-armed Skarn with a staff. But he's human. The news spread across every student forum. Security footage was restricted, but fragments leaked anyway, showing the Terran nurse moving with the precision of a soldier. Lyra waited for him in the infirmary. When he returned, she was there, sitting on one of the medbeds, arms crossed, eyes blazing. You could have been killed, she said. So could they, he replied, nodding toward the students. Her gaze dropped to his arm, where the bandage had slipped, revealing a lattice of scars, burns, knife wounds, bullet traces, even the distinct circular brand of an energy shackle. What are you, Alien? He hesitated before answering. A mistake that learned to heal. His past. Later that night, the academy was quiet. Only the soft hum of the orbital engines filled the halls. Lyra returned to the infirmary. She found Alien sitting by the window, staring out at the stars. On the desk beside him lay a small holochip, an old Terran military insignia. The 8th Frontline Medic Division, she whispered. That unit was wiped out during the Revan War, 50 years ago. Alien didn't look at her. 48. And not all of us were wiped out. He rolled up his sleeves fully this time. Every inch of his skin was marked scars, burn tissue, cybernetic grafts, faint tattooed names of fallen comrades. I was a combat medic, he said quietly. We were supposed to rescue civilians from Revan Prime. They used civilians as bait. His eyes darkened. I held dying soldiers who weren't even human, just kids from other worlds. And when the order came to retreat, I stayed behind. Lyra couldn't breathe. You fought in that? He nodded. Afterward, I couldn't fight anymore. So I learned to heal. But healing doesn't mean forgetting. The revelation. Days passed. The laughter never returned. Students treated Alien with quiet awe now. The nurse who once seemed small and strange now moved through the halls like a legend come alive. But peace never lasted long. A week later, during a planetary visit for an academic exchange, a new crisis erupted. A shuttle crash near the Academy's surface outpost left several students trapped under burning debris, including Lyra. The rescue drones malfunctioned in the storm. The air was thick with toxic vapors. Alien went alone. When he reached the crash site, flames licked the sky. He crawled through wreckage, cutting through twisted metal with bare, bleeding hands. Lyra, he shouted through the smoke. Here came the faint cry. He found her pinned under a collapsed beam. Her leg was crushed, her breathing shallow. Without a word, he slid a stim into her chest and hoisted the beam. His muscles screamed. Sparks bit his skin. For a moment, the old soldier in him roared to life. When the beam finally moved, he pulled her free, carrying her through fire like he was walking through rain. They reached the medpod just before the rescue team arrived. Ending the marks of a soldier. When Lyra awoke in the infirmary, she found Alien asleep in a chair beside her bed, his uniform torn, his arm wrapped in fresh gauze.